and they think that they are entitled to look at all our private messages.
Taylor Swift, one of the most influential and scrutinized figures in the world, has chosen silence in the face of escalating drama, absence of denial that many now interpret as telling. Bryan Freedman, attorney for Justin Baldoni, has responded publicly, and his statement has made one thing painfully clear. Swift's decision to sever ties with longtime friend Blake Lively was not impulsive. The betrayal, manipulation, and unraveling of their once golden Hollywood friendship has been brewing for years, and the fallout may just be getting started. Behind the polished facade of red carpets and Instagram-perfect snapshots, a darker truth seems to be surfacing. Blake Lively's team may have engaged in serious misconduct in an attempt to manipulate discovery, suppress evidence, and coerce narratives that would favor her public image. What first appeared as a mere celebrity friendship rift has now entered dangerous legal territory. Accusations of bad faith discovery, strategic blackmail, and even potential extortion. According to Freedman's legal commentary, Blake's legal team first pushed what he calls a pretend lawsuit, aimed solely at justifying the production of selective text messages. Now, new developments point to a second, perhaps more damning incident: an attempt to suppress crucial evidence. If these actions are proven, the court could impose serious evidentiary sanctions, possibly even terminating sanctions, on Lively's team. This legal maneuvering isn't happening in a vacuum. A source close to Taylor Swift reportedly provided a one-hour phone call to Freedman, relaying a disturbing series of events involving Lively's legal representative allegedly contacting Taylor's team to demand a social media post, and her supporter faced the leak of a decade's worth of private text messages. Taylor's attorney reportedly labeled the request as extortion and abruptly ended the call. The source also stated that months earlier, Blake asked Taylor to delete all past text exchanges, further raising red flags about the calculated effort to conceal or control damaging information. As these revelations mount, one name keeps surfacing: Bryan Freedman, known for his knack for spotting fractures within Hollywood's seemingly impenetrable social circles. Freedman was among the first to suggest that Taylor wasn't simply pulling away from Blake, she was preparing for something bigger. His instincts have proven eerily accurate before. He previously predicted the collapse of Demi Lovato and Selena Gomez's friendship by tracking their subtle but public disconnection. Similarly, his foresight into the Brad Pitt-Angelina Jolie post-divorce spiral hinged on small, icily dismissed cues that later proved pivotal. In the case of Taylor and Blake, Freedman didn't just read between the lines, he anticipated the entire storyline. Before the public took notice, before the unfollows and silent omissions on social media, he flagged subtle signals: Taylor's decreasing warmth toward Blake online, her sudden absence from mutual mentions, and a notable lack of public support. The fact that Blake, who once figured prominently in Taylor's lyrics, events, and friendship circle, had suddenly vanished from view was no coincidence. It was part of a deliberate unraveling. And now, insiders are confirming that Taylor felt manipulated and used by someone she once considered a trusted confidant. What's emerging isn't just the collapse of a friendship, it's the systematic dismantling of a Hollywood power alliance. Blake Lively, often seen as polished, charming, and media-savvy, is now facing allegations that she leveraged her friendship with Taylor for personal gain. From award show shoutouts to intimate family vacations, the partnership appeared mutually beneficial, but insiders suggest Blake reaped far more than she sowed. Being adjacent to Taylor Swift brought her a level of warmth and public adoration that might otherwise have been unattainable. The Swift effect, after all, is real, and Blake reportedly used it strategically. Reports indicate that Blake's team may have worked to align key career moments with Taylor's schedule, ensuring maximum coverage and engagement. When controversies or unfavorable rumors began to swirl around Blake, her public appearances with Taylor helped deflect criticism. From concert appearances to cozy snapshots, the illusion of unwavering friendship created a bulletproof brand identity. But now, with Taylor potentially stepping back and, worse, speaking up, that image is on the verge of collapse. Adding more pressure is the emotional weight behind all this. Taylor, often portrayed as loyal to a fault, reportedly kept mental notes on instances where Blake's support felt hollow or performative. Some sources allege that Taylor has an uncanny ability to recall every slight, every unreciprocated gesture. And it wasn't just that Blake failed to show up during key milestones like Taylor's embattled reputation, it's that her silence appeared intentional. While Taylor consistently uplifted Blake, Blake's support was quieter, more controlled, and perhaps more selfish. As the scandal grows, speculation mounts about what Taylor could reveal should she choose to defend herself in the public arena, or even through her music. Fans know that when Taylor feels betrayed, she doesn't stay silent forever. Her art is her weapon, her truth, her armor. Many suspect that if pushed, she won't need to release damaging screenshots or make public statements. One lyric, one music video, one tour performance might be enough to say it all. This possibility has Hollywood insiders nervous not just for Blake, But for anyone whose secrets may have been whispered in Swift's presence, multiple sources now believe that Blake, over the course of their years-long friendship, confided personal struggles and industry frustrations to Taylor, vulnerabilities that, while shared in confidence, could now be viewed as strategic liabilities. And while Swift has historically chosen discretion in matters of personal betrayal, this case may be different. The stakes are higher, not just emotionally, but legally and reputationally. Justin Baldoni's lawsuit is no longer a side plot, a central piece of this unraveling story. Once seen as the lesser-known party in the mix, Baldoni now stands as a pivotal figure in revealing the power dynamics at play. His career took a hit when these allegations surfaced, and as Freedman points out, the damage has been substantial. Lost projects, emotional toll, reputational ruin. With a wife and children affected by the fallout, Baldoni's team is pushing not just for legal resolution, but for public vindication. Meanwhile, Blake's carefully crafted brand is beginning to show cracks as her connection to Taylor shifts from asset to liability. The backlash may accelerate. Whispers that Blake's team tried to weaponize private messages, control PR narratives, and lean heavily on Taylor's image have only fueled public scrutiny. And with Taylor remaining silent, strategically so, her absence speaks volumes. She doesn't need to clap back when the facts, documents, and public perception are already turning in her favor. Taylor's narrative is forming quietly but powerfully. Through her silence, her legal cooperation, and her subtle social media decisions, she's reclaiming control. Every unfollow, every omission, every lyric she writes from this point forward will be interpreted under this new lens. And for Blake, the implications are devastating. Once seen as a down-to-earth actress beloved for her charm, she may now be recast as a calculated player who underestimated the person she tried to manipulate. For the court, the legal implications are serious. The affidavit filed by Bryan Freedman outlines a timeline of communication, sourced directly from someone in Taylor's inner circle. The information provided doesn't just implicate Blake's team in underhanded tactics, it suggests a pattern of coercion, control, and calculated legal manipulation. If validated by the judge, the consequences could be severe: sanctions, suppression of evidence, or worse, full dismissal of Lively's motions. Hollywood friendships are often fragile, but the friendship between Blake and Taylor was once perceived as sacred, genuine amidst the superficial. They shared family time, heartfelt captions, and private moments that fans believed were real. Now, those same fans are left re-examining every photo, every post, every lyric for signs that it was all smoke and mirrors. Was Taylor truly a best friend, or just a strategic tool in Blake's PR arsenal? This isn't just gossip, it's a cautionary tale about power, trust, and betrayal in an industry built on illusion. And it's far from over. As the legal proceedings unfold, as fans comb through archives, and as Swift's artistic response inevitably comes to light, one truth emerges. Blake underestimated the wrong woman. Taylor Swift isn't just a songwriter, a performer, or a celebrity. She's a strategist, a survivor, and she never forgets. She never forgets. As the Hollywood spotlight intensifies, a once glittering friendship now lies fractured beneath layers of scandal, betrayal, and strategic silence. Taylor Swift and Blake Lively, once the darlings of pop culture camaraderie, have become emblems of a deeper shift happening in the celebrity world, one where private loyalty is measured against public fallout, and every silence speaks louder than words. The tension between them has evolved from passive distancing to an all-out unraveling, fueled by legal drama, whispered manipulations, and media chess moves that have captivated fans and insiders alike. Taylor Swift, known for her meticulous image control and deeply curated messaging, has remained notably silent, not in ignorance, but in what now appears to be a perfectly timed, intentional positioning. This isn't the first time she's chosen silence over chaos. It's a pattern with her. But as this scandal escalates, it's becoming clear that her silence has been tactical, not timid. When Justin Baldoni's team subpoenaed Taylor for information, it felt like an explosive moment, and perhaps even a calculated move by Swift's inner circle. It was as though someone in her camp quietly welcomed the subpoena, seeing it as the legal permission slip to drop facts that were long hidden in the shadows. And now that her statement has been delivered, with Blake's narrative directly contradicted, the spotlight shifts in a new, damning direction. Taylor's voice, while subtle, is seismic. She had no involvement. And the proof provided paints a picture of manipulation and potential dishonesty that shakes the foundation of Blake's public image. While Blake's team tried to celebrate the withdrawal of the subpoena as a victory, Baldoni's side made it clear that they didn't need more from Taylor because they already had everything. That revelation shifted the tone dramatically. Allegations arose that Blake's legal team had even threatened to leak private text messages from Taylor, a move that reeked of coercion and shook the very framework of trust. It's the kind of behind-the-scenes machination that strips the glamour off celebrity friendships and exposes the transactional rot that sometimes lingers underneath. Taylor, by quietly complying with the subpoena, essentially exposed what may have been months or years of Blake using their relationship for personal leverage, and perhaps most haunting of all, Insiders have revealed that Blake allegedly asked Taylor to delete certain text messages, a request that now reads like foreshadowing of a greater deception. It's not just about legal strategy anymore. It's about ethical collapse. But Taylor's response, or lack thereof, is not just a reaction. It's a statement, a masterclass in narrative control. Her alleged internal declaration, "I'm nobody's dragon," is symbolic. For years, she has been the ride or die for her friends, championing them in song and spotlight, weathering their storms as her own. But not this time. This time, she's pulling the reins. "I've stayed quiet, I've stayed away, but girl, now that I'm being dragged in, you're about to get run over," she reportedly said, and with that, Taylor Swift stopped being Blake's silent ally and became her greatest liability. Her entire brand has been built on authenticity and storytelling, and what's unfolding now is simply another chapter, raw, messy, and devastatingly strategic. What makes this moment even more potent is timing. While Taylor surges in public, Fava, riding the massive success of her sold-out tours, award show wins, and global cultural impact, Blake's star has dimmed in comparison. She's still present, still polished, still celebrated, but not with the same gravitational pull, and Taylor knows it. Every headline about Blake and Taylor's fractured bond now arrives in an ecosystem where Swift has the louder microphone, the bigger stage, and the deeper sympathy. Insiders close to Taylor insist this isn't about revenge, it's about accountability. This isn't a petty feud, this is a reckoning. If Blake did use Taylor's influence for image management, or worse, for calculated manipulation, then the response from Taylor was never going to be loud, it was going to be lethal in its subtlety. Because Swift never attacks first, she waits. And when she moves, it's with poetic devastation. This strategy has been seen before, whether it was reclaiming her masters or subtly but powerfully closing the chapter on her feud with Katy Perry. Taylor plays the long game. She builds her case in whispers and then drops it in thunder. Observers now predict that her next move could be a song, a lyrical dissection of this implosion. Or perhaps, she opted for something quieter. Red carpet, body language, the cold absence of an Instagram like, the casual omission from a holiday party. Whatever it is, her audience will hear it loud and clear. And Blake, she's left with fewer tools. Any response risks validating the narrative Swift is spinning. Any silence risks looking complicit. It's a no-win situation, and that's precisely how Taylor has set the board. The collateral damage is already spreading. Hollywood is a web of alliances, and the ripples of this fallout are being felt. Once unified social circles are now split, with celebrities quietly choosing sides. Ryan Reynolds, who once shared holiday dinners with Swift and appeared on social media alongside her, still follows Taylor on Instagram, a seemingly small gesture that now feels telling. Events that once saw Taylor, Blake, and mutual friends under one glittering roof are noticeably less interconnected. Some stars, like Selena Gomez and Gigi Hadid, known for their unwavering loyalty to Swift, are standing firm. Others, perhaps torn between long-held relationships, are going quiet, their silence just as loud as any public statement. It's the kind of invisible war Hollywood thrives on, where smiles at award shows mask tension, and where a seating chart becomes a battleground. Even Blake's public relations efforts are beginning to waver. Despite her attorney's firm assertion that they're confident Blake will be vindicated, the legal maneuvers suggest a different truth. Her request to prevent Bryan Freedman, Baldani's lawyer, from deposing her was denied. Her push for a gag order failed. These are not wins, they are delays. And with every court document, every press release, every subpoena, Taylor's story gains credibility, while Blake's seems to fray. Blake's image, once perfectly curated as the elegant, witty starlet with the fairy tale family, now carries cracks, and those cracks are threatening to become canyons. The Daily Mail, often dismissed as tabloid noise, has been publishing exclusive scoops with remarkable accuracy. According to insiders, the reporting has revealed a steady stream of developments, including the bombshell that Blake's team allegedly threatened to leak Taylor's messages, and that Taylor's compliance with the subpoena gave Baldani's legal team more than they ever anticipated. While Blake's team spun this as a legal relief, in truth, the withdrawal of the subpoena was a sign that they had all the ammunition they needed, and Taylor had delivered it. A former smoking gun, Taylor became a cannon, and her silence is now deafening. Not denying, not defending, simply letting the evidence speak. And perhaps what's most fascinating is the way this scandal reveals the toxic underbelly of celebrity friendships. Fans once idolized Taylor and Blake's relationship, seeing it as a beacon of authenticity in a manufactured world. But now, every New Year's Eve selfie, every Instagram birthday tribute, every lyrical nod to Blake's children feels like part of a PR performance. Were these gestures of love? Or were they currency in a much more calculated exchange? In a world where optics often outweigh substance, the illusion of closeness may have been just that, an illusion. As this saga continues to unfold, it's no longer just a feud, it's a cautionary tale. In Taylor's world, betrayal isn't confronted with rage, it's exposed with precision. Her every move sends a message. Align with me in truth, or risk being dismantled in silence. With the industry watching and the fan base hanging on every whisper, this story has become much bigger than two women. It's about how power moves behind the scenes, how loyalty is leveraged, and how even the most golden connections can crumble under the weight of quiet war. Taylor Swift, poised and composed, has turned the tables. What began as a subpoena spiraled into a narrative takedown that was carefully orchestrated, razor-sharp and devastating in its simplicity. Blake Lively, once shielded by image and influence, now faces a storm that could reshape not only her career but her legacy. And as more documents emerge, as more voices speak, and as Taylor's silence grows more strategic by the day, one thing becomes clear: this isn't over. Not by a long shot. Not by a long shot.